Hi everybody, and I'm making a little video to let you all have some more information about the cubes that I use. They are originals, they are mine. That's why they work, because I created them. And no, most of you would not have seen them before. Maybe a few of you in New York, as I did take them out to New York in 2003. Yes, that's when it all started. In fact, it started around 2000, I would say. Actually, the original concept came about. Now, the story goes, and it's really nice, there's a whole story about this, this whole creation, is that I went back to my hometown in Devon in the UK, and I went to what we call in England a boot fair. There's lots of stalls and everything's, lots of junk and everything very, very cheap. And I came across some very, very old children's cubes. There was 9 cubes originally. And I've just discovered today that a lot of those are missing. So in transit, the amount of times I've moved, they seem to have gone from pillar to post, which is a bit of a shame. I may discover them again somewhere deep rooted in the garage. And I'm going to go and have a look, which would be a shame. But the original 9 were just normal wooden cubes, and for some reason I decided to buy them and thought, what could I do with this, being a creative little soul. And it wasn't until a year later or so that I was living in Essex with a friend, and I was going through quite a hard time with work-wise, and just everything was blocking me. I think this is all to do with the Saturn return coming in and various other things. And for my own learning, I was basically guided and pushed really by spirit to focus on my creative outlets. I feel that through the years before, I hadn't really taken things or appreciated things the way that I should. I got things a lot easier. I wasn't using my creativity in the way that I should. And this was a new leg of my journey, which came into designing, computer work, more divination, healing and such. So anyway, one day, a little bit bored, I decided to play around, and there was a few in this house at a time. It was quite a nice, it was a lovely, friendly, happy place. My friend who took me in, literally, when I had nothing, and her partner at the time, her son, and also her ex-husband. So that's a long story anyway, but he was hanging around. So she had this house full of people coming and go, waifs and strays and everything, me being one of them. And I was messing about with these cubes and decided I wanted to learn how to divinate with crystals. So I came up with a little plan of creating pictures and sticking them on these cubes, and decided to come up with a new way of reading. I did it, actually a lot of the creation came along, what was done with her ex-husband Bill. Reason the name is Biras, because my name's Sara and his name was Bill, and that's what we came up with, which I'm going to change anyway, but that's another story. Anyway, so we were just playing around, like kids do, and I sort of learned I came up with my own concept, and the idea was that you throw the cubes 3 times, only 3, no more than 3, and you can only ask once if you like, and then you take all your answers, you link them all together, and you could do a past, present, future, or you could just link them 3 times. It's up to you. And the combination of the cubes and the faces that turn up, you link them together, a little bit like a tarot deck. How you link all the cards together. They always tell a different story to every time they throw. Now, this sort of became bigger, as you may well have guessed, and I decided to add more cubes. I added numbers because I'd done a lot of numerology work actually that was where I first began really studying numerology, I think. And then I added colours and just made it more exciting, and then decided that you could either use little sets of cubes on their own, or you could use the whole thing. And the idea was, it was the combination. The buy was 2 and 2, 2 things together, working together and coming up with one. So it was up to you. My idea, my foresight into the future was that people could buy different sets of cubes, a little bit like trading cards, because they were really big at that time. So a lot of Pokemon going on at that time, and my friend's son, he was the sort of inspiration behind that. And, you know, we all played together. We all had fun together with this. And anyway, I got into contact with who I call Mr. Big, because he was just so rich and so much, you know, more powerful than me. And anyway, he got the name Mr. Big. Nothing like Sex and the City at all. So don't even go there. And there was definitely no romance here. It was purely business. And I approached him and asked him to back me with this idea. And this is where it all really sort of started taking off. And sort of went wrong as well. So it's been a bit of a journey. Anyway, got in touch with some marketing people. They suggested that we turn it into a game. So hence the board. The idea of the board in a cover, you know, already is so the cubes don't fly everywhere. And we thought it would be a really good idea for maybe aeroplanes, you know, so the cubes don't fly everywhere. Anyway, so this turned into a game, and the original cubes sort of disappeared, and in their place we got 6 different cubes. And the idea again was a combination of games: Pontoon, Scrabble without numbers. It was very much based on numbers and adding up, but it's a game of chance, and you win it all or you lose it all, and it just happens on one throw, and it's up to you whether you want to take 3 throws, 1 throw, or 2 throws. And it seemed a little bit complicated, but it was quite fun. Anyway, I developed it with all my family around me at that time, and we started marketing it, and I went to New York with the game and started developing other concepts, other boards to go with it. A board for people who were colorblind, because my husband, who actually I married in New York when I went there to show this game, we thought, while we're at it, we might as well do that. I mean, why not, eh? And he was colorblind. So I had to come up with another idea, hence the symbol cube and things. Now, in between all that, there was also a game, a story that goes with this. And the board is actually a tarot layout, or based on a tarot layout, but also it is based on a map, as you can see. There's the map, and this is a map to a secret dimension and a new world. And I wrote a book on this, which is actually being sort of rewritten as we speak, or re-edited, should I say. And so we had the game, we had the story, and in the how to play notes, there was lots of hints to do with the story. I won't go into the story right now because it's very deep, but very spiritual at the same time. And so we developed. Anyway, it's all came crash landing because the backer that I had was quite a greedy soul. And for some reason, what happened is the marketing took over so much. And always be aware of this, guys. If you've got a creative concept, keep hold of the original idea. The whole point of this was simplicity, and it actually became complicated. The answer to a lot of things in life is a simple thing, really. It's simple logic sometimes. And sometimes our minds take over. We go into overdrive. Hence, why we're questioning all the time, why we're asking for readings. It's like, everything takes over. The doubts come in. And this is what happened. This was a journey of my own self-esteem. This was about me learning to believe in myself and realize that just because I didn't have billions and billions of pounds didn't mean that I was any more significant, and that this man, and I'd put him on a pedestal, Mr. Big, could change my whole life. And it was actually became very, very destructive. And like in the story, the Dark Lord Biras, it was almost like I was being engulfed by this. I became the story. This was, this sort of need of good and evil, and the feeling that, you can just, it only takes one person to completely, take over. And this was a big concept at the time. So I ended up stopping. Now, we'd designed all these games. We printed all these games. We'd spent quite a lot of money. Okay. But now, I look at the thing and I think, actually I'd change that. It was a bit dark looking, maybe because I was going through a dark period of my life. And there was many things wrong, and it needs to be, like a lot of things, need to be remarketed, relooked at to make better. So anyway, I was left with all these games, which I still have. And every time I moved, I've moved these games. I think we got 1,000 games done. There's still at least 200, I would say, maybe 100 games still there. Some of them are lining the walls of a garage, insulating it, which is fantastic. So you can always find a use for things. Some of them I used as costumes in a show. I did a whole routine about board games. And there's some that are still boxed up, and I am going to be selling these because they are the last ones in existence. I still use the boards, as you can see, because I use them to read with, and I do like to keep a few because I like to update them, but I need to find a way of strengthening them even more so that I don't have to keep updating them. Now, the original board for my advertising was made by my sister, which is where the design comes from. This is a mosaic. You can see some bits have fallen out now. This is about 60 centimeters square, whereas the board is a lot smaller, which is a lot handier. So this mosaic works, I use this. It hasn't got an edge to it, unfortunately, but it can be quite fun. I also made a great big floorboard, which was fun, and some fairy dice. We found with this, it's very, very good with children because the pictures are so simple, and, they can build a story with it, which is actually rather what tarot and fortune telling and everything is about, really. It's about laying out, specific cards. You tell a story as you're reading it, you follow things on, you link things together. A story with just static characters, places, it hasn't got any meaning, it hasn't got any theme, isn't really a very good story. So, it's very, when we read, we create that journey that's going on, and this is what this is about. I like to liken this to the tea leaves a little bit, where the cubes fall on the board and you sort of read them all together. Now, as some of you may have noticed, my cubes have completely changed now. They are mine. I create my own, and I create my own symbols to what I feel. And sometimes I update them, I remake them, and a lot of the bits fall off and things. And originally we varnished them all, and they're beautifully kept. And I still have some originals left, which we'll talk about later. But I am going to be marketing these in sets, and there will be a book that you can buy to learn, and I will be doing some tutorials as well on here for you to help you. So you can buy the book of all the meanings to go with the cubes you will be able to on Amazon, and you will be able to order the sets from me, and bearing in mind that they are all handmade, and what I will be doing is a full set that you can use in general, instead of just buying 2 or 3, because it makes life a lot simpler, and in a nice bag. And again, you can buy the book with the set, or you can buy it separately, and there'll be all the history and everything about that. So that'll be coming out shortly, as soon as I can get it finished, when I have time. But anyway, if you want to ask me any more questions about these, like I say, some people have been asking about them, and I know there's some of you out there who would really, like a set and are prepared to buy them. I'm going to do them as cheaply as I can. But in the meantime, I am getting rid of the very, very final cubes, which I had packeted up. There are some chakra cubes, which are singular. We have some symbol cubes, some number ones, which are doubles, and colour cubes, and some Christmas pretty ones, Christmas decoration ones, which you can actually put on your tree with some little meanings in there, or nice little gifts for Christmas if you want to buy something early, and Halloween ones, which are fantastic. Again, they're just singular cubes, but you can use them all together. And the idea is you can read up the meanings. I haven't gone into massive detail with them because I don't read off a script when I read. I use what I have, I channel stuff through, and I just allow the pictures to tell the story. And that's the best way of reading. It's trust. It's trusting in your own story, trusting that the story you're telling is correct and connecting with the person you're reading for. So let's have a quick look at the sets that I did. So originally the sets were, there was 9 cubes in a set. You had crystals, and a chakra cube and the numerology cubes. And then you could buy a tarot set, which is really fun. And that would include seven cubes. And you've got 2 number cubes in there. And there was a special way of reading with these if you just use them singularly. The astrology cubes is two in a set, there was, and 2 colours. And they came with these little meanings that came with them. So again, you can combine them or just use them singly, however you wish. So if you are interested in this, comment below or message me on New Psychic Devon. Or you can message me on my website. Plenty. I will be putting information on the website. Just bear with me. So if you are interested in purchasing some of the original cubes, first come, first served, I have 6 chakra cubes. I have 3 symbol cubes, 2 sets of numerology cubes, 3 sets of colour cubes. I've got 4 sets of colours, 5 Halloween, 7 Christmas cubes. That's all. And these are the original sizes, the big sizes. So if you'd like these, please get in contact with me as soon as possible, because first come, first served, or follow the link on the video. I'm also selling the original board games, or the ones that are left, the first editions. So if you're interested in one of those, again, please get in contact. These are going to be at rock bottom prices as well. Only a little bit more than the postage that you've got to pay. So I'd really grab hold of one if you can. But as I've said, I'm going to be remarketing this whole concept. So if you've got an original, it's going to be worth holding on to. So just get in touch with me by email, or go onto my website and contact me there, and I can give you details about prices and postage. Remember, it is only first come, first served. As for the little cubes that I use and the sets of cubes, I will let you know about those in due course. You can pre-order your sets, or let me know if you want information about that. So fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the video about where the cubes come from and the history, and I'll speak to you all soon.